social media is a new addiction that a lot of people are not aware of. I mean, when is the last time you've gone a complete day without checking any of your social medias? Okay, how about a week? Do you see my point? Now, most of these videos are going to tell you to go completely cold turkey and delete all your social media, live under a rock. But in this video, I'm not going to tell you to do that because I understand that social media is a very important tool if used correctly. And I was once in your position as well, where I had a very unhealthy relationship with social media. But now, with the strategies and methods that I'm going to share with you today, I can say that my relationship with social media is extremely healthy and I control how I use social media, where I do not allow it to control me. So throughout this video, I'm going to implement different methods and strategies that you can use to really reduce your time on social media to have a more healthy relationship with it. And what I like to do throughout my videos is, as the video goes on, I want to give you more in-depth details on how you can better use social media. Now, the first strategy that you can use is to have time estimations on how long you'll be spending on each social media platform. Luckily, most of your smartphones probably have the ability to do this as well, and it's as simple as going to each site and setting a limit for how long you want to spend each day on that site. This will allow you to have concrete goals and allow you to remain within a time frame that you set for yourself on how much time you need to spend on these social media sites. Another thing that has really reduced my time on social media is turning off all notifications. Yes, I mean all notifications. Just think about it. When you're working at your desk or you're trying to get focused, what is that one thing that takes you away from that focus? It's the yeah, that sound right there distracts you like no other. And your mind then becomes curious, like, what's going on? Let me check it out. And you're completely normal for wanting to see what's going on your phone. But if you didn't have that large notification, you wouldn't be distracted. Another reason why you want to turn off all your notifications, especially for your social media sites, is I want you to remember a time when you wanted to go on social media for one specific task. But then when you got on social media, you forgot what you were supposed to do. You become completely distracted. And this happens to so many people, myself included. Why does this happen? Well, it's simple. Social media has so much noise, so much different notifications. The algorithm is perfectly designed to give you content that you want to see. So it becomes very difficult to maintain that high level of focus, especially just completing a simple task. So when you turn off your notifications, you're not going to be pulled into these unnecessary loopholes that are going to keep you on social media for longer than you anticipated. And once your notifications are turned off, you are going to be less inclined to just randomly check your phone, scroll on it without any purpose. The next strategy that I want to share with all of you is really just your environment and how important environmental locations are when checking your social media. So it is no secret that our brain forms habits. And most of you have certain routines that you do throughout your day that you probably do unconsciously. And some of these include when and where you check your social media. I remember being in university, and one of the best things that I did early on was ensure that my desk and my place of focus work was not a place where I was allowed to check social media. Instead, I would position myself somewhere away from my desk, let's say a couch for example, to then use that time to check my social media. And then when it was time to go back into my focus work, I would be back at my desk. The reason why I did this is because I wanted my brain to establish the habit that my desk was not a place for me to be on social media scrolling randomly. And it allows me to get right into my focus work without being distracted. And this is another reason why oftentimes students are not encouraged to do homework on their bed. Because your bed is typically a place where you need to sleep. So when you're spending time doing homework there, you're kind of confusing your brain of some of the environmental locations and what specific task you need to do. So again, being very intentional about where you are checking your social media is going to be critical, especially if you want to limit how much time you're spending on these sites. Now, another strategy that has worked really well for me in breaking my social media addiction is having time checks. Now, hear me out. So time checks are something that I've implemented all throughout university, but this strategy has made my relationship with social media so much better. So essentially what I do is I have a certain time where I am allowed to check social media. After 9:30 p.m., I give myself the permission to check social media and be on these social media sites. Now, at first, it might be a little difficult to do this because it's probably out of the norm for you, but as time goes on, this actually becomes a lot easier and feel more natural in your day-to-day activities. Doing these time checks allows me to stay very focused on my schoolwork and all the other productive work that I have to get done throughout my day, and it doesn't allow me to be distracted. It also helps me establish the habit of discipline and being able to stick with a promise that I've made to myself. Now, your time checks can look different. It could be after 5, 7, but typically I like to do my social media time checks at later in the night right before I'm trying to go to bed, because if I do my time checks too early in the day, then I'm gonna fall into the loop of wanting to check social media more throughout my day. But typically I like to go to bed at a reasonable time, so if I check my social media after 9:30, I only have a limited amount of time to use the social media services before I have to go to bed and restart my day all over again. And you can almost play a game with yourself through this process. I mean, you could set tallies or objectives every single day, and if you accomplish this, you give yourself a check mark. Typically what people do throughout their day is a to-do list of all the activities that they need to get done, but what I have done is a do not do list, which is essentially actions that I'm not allowed to do throughout the day. And on that do not do list, it reminds me, do not check social media before 9:30 p.m. And as someone who is an athlete and is competitive, this allows me to set an objective for my day and really try to accomplish the goal every single day. So give it a try and let me know how it goes. Now this next tip is a little bit more advanced, but trust me, I've done it before and it has worked wonders. And this tip is to change your phone to black and white. Yes, I know it's gonna sound crazy, but you can go to settings and then you could switch the color from seeing color to having a black and white phone. Now the reason why this is an effective strategy is it allows you to use your phone and social media sites very productively. When you have your phone in black and white, you do not want to use your phone as much as you do. Your phone becomes very boring and dull. But when I did this for a long period of time, I was using my phone and social media sites very practically, which means I was using my phone for essentially what it was designed to do. Send texts, receive calls, maybe check the odd messages or respond to the odd text on social media, and that was it. When I had this strategy in place, my screen time was anywhere between 1 to 2 hours every single day, and I was getting so much things done in my personal life that really helped me level up to the next point in my life. So again, yes, I know it will be uncomfortable and it might feel weird, but give it a try, let me know how it goes, and you'll just naturally see yourself spending less time on social media. Now, another tip that I want to give you is to change how you use your social media services. Typically, what do? We go on our phone and we scroll. And if you didn't know already, the whole reason why you scroll on social media, it's supposed to imitate one of those slot machines when you like go to the casino and you pull it down. That's essentially what it is, and it allows you to refresh and you come back up. It's a very addictive feeling. Now, something that I did all throughout my third year of university was change how I use my social media sites. So instead of using Instagram the traditional way on your phone, I actually logged into my computer and used it that way. I'm telling you, using Instagram on your laptop or your computer does not give you that same addictive feeling when scrolling. And I found I was very effective and proactive when I was using it. I would go on Instagram, sometimes check if I have a certain DM that I need to respond to, check a few Instagram posts, and then continue with my day. It was weird because when you use Instagram from the computer, you do not want to spend hours on it. It feels very unnatural, out of your comfort zone. And as a result, you'll actually end up spending less time on those social media sites. And there's other sites like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat that can all have access via your laptop or computer. So give it a try. Feel how uncomfortable it feels. And if you find that you're spending less time using it on your computer, what you can do is then delete social media directly from your phone and then only use it on your computer after you've finished your time checks. You see how all these strategies work together in one cyclic formation? Now we're going through a lot of concrete tips so far, so if you're getting any value, please consider subscribing, leaving a like and a comment to let me know how this video is helping you out and which strategies you will look to implement. But the next strategy that I really want to jump into is to make this habit of checking social media unattractive. Now this tip was inspired by the book Atomic Habits, and throughout the book it talks about what you want to do if you want to break a bad habit, and a very important principle is making that habit unattractive. How I made checking social media and scrolling unattractive for myself was reminding myself that each time I do this, I'm taking away valuable time from my life, and at the same time I'm becoming a consumer. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong to be a consumer at some points of your life, but if you're still watching this type of video, you are someone who is much more than just a consumer. You are a producer. You are somebody who goes out there, makes change within the world. And remind yourself that spending hours on end on social media takes away from that ability for yourself to do that. This channel is dedicated to high performers who are really looking to optimize their life in all aspects. So we cannot let social media be the reason that we do not accomplish our goals. And when I had that replaying in my mind and constantly reminding myself that I'm someone of purpose, who is disciplined, and I cannot let social media be the Achilles heel to my goals and trying to stop me from achieving my maximum potential, this made checking social media and spending hours on it very unattractive for someone like myself. I mean, it is no secret, we only have 24 hours every single day, and our time here on this earth is extremely precious and valuable. And you do not want to spend your entire time being a consumer, checking social media all the time and being unproductive. Once I came to that rationalization and I came to that realization, checking social media and spending hours on it is a very unattractive thing for myself personally. So as a result, mentally, I do not want to be on social media for too long. When I'm on social media, it's typically for a purpose. I'm either trying to use it to learn, I'm trying to use it to stay informed, or I'm trying to use it to create my own content and really just get better at creating content. And that's it. Remember that social media does not control you. You control social media. And through this process, I've been able to establish a very healthy relationship with social media. And yes, I do still check social media once in a while, but now I have a healthy relationship with it. I know how much time I need to spend on it and how much time I need to spend working towards my goals. So this allows me to, one, keep all my social medias, stay in contact with friends, produce high-level content, but at the same time, not take away from the value that social media does have in our society. So that essentially wraps out the method and the strategy that I use to break my social media addiction. It did take time for this to be established correctly, but like I mentioned before, now that this is in place, how I operate throughout my day-to-day life, especially how I use social media, is very intentional and very practical. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you need to delete all your social media, because again, I do think that there is value in social media, but instead, as a high performer, the high performer that you are, it is important that you regulate how you spend your time on social media. So I hope you all enjoyed this video and you gained some insight, and I would like you to leave a comment down below to let me know which strategy will you be using to reduce your time on social media. I hope you gained some value to this. If you did, hit that like button and consider subscribing. And you know what I always say, make sure to always believe that you will achieve. My name is Miles and I'm signing off.